back. Hey everyone. Okay, are you gonna do this with me? You feel like painting tonight? Hi Teresa. Hi Heather. Okay, if you do, all you need is some acrylic paint. I'm using some craft paint, or if you're watching the replay, I would pick maybe 4 colors and just do a little daub. Can be any colors, different shade of colors. I am in Central Time. Girl, I live in Minnesota. You have Wi-Fi but no paint. You're in the Rockies for the weekend. Oh, how fun. Well, you could therapeutically watch me paint, I guess. Oh, it's getting late. You must be on the East Coast. Okay, we'll catch the replay. So I'm going to do the style. I guess I could show you first. I posted on my Instagram today in this fun, abstract, bright colorway that Makewells does. Megan is an artist who primarily just does flowers and fun, colorful patterns, and I watched one of her process videos. Am I going to tell you what colors these are? Sure. And she did a couple things differently than the way I do acrylic flowers, so I tried it and it's pretty fun. This is Tropic Orange. This is Cloudless, like a light blue. It really doesn't matter what colors. I actually don't love purple, so I don't know why I just pulled this. Petunia Purple. Bright Green. What does that say? I can't see. Blue Lagoon. Bellini? Sunny Day. Did I do that one? Gotta have pink. Pink eraser. I got purple. Okay, I like the color purple. This purple is just, it's too dark. For layering the paint color, sometimes you can see through it, so then you have to do so many more layers of the lighter color on top. That's the only reason I don't love it for this project, because it just gets a little dark. Oh, Val. Okay, fine. Promise you'll come back. Don't go away mad. And then white, and then black. Where's my black? Oh, story of my life. Missing paint. Hold on. I'm scanning. Hiding under the bags. See, I just did a bag periscope. I was hiding. Still purple. It was meant to be. It's okay, Val. I do like the color purple. It's Max's favorite color. Vikings and Prince. Okay, so those are the colors that I'm using. But like I said, you could do any colors you wanted. I mean, you could use 4 different shades of pink or 2 different shades of purple. It doesn't matter. You can mix to make lighter and darker, but that's what I'm using. Is anybody going to do this with me? I'm such a teacher that I feel like I have to have somebody that is doing it and asking questions while I'm doing it. Like, I'm not good at just showing, apparently. This is my example. I did one in my Bible yesterday, which I can grab. So this is the one I did in my Bible. And I used pen to outline that, like a thin Sharpie. Oh, sure, Amy. You got a hot date tonight or what? And this one I used black paint. So, yeah, it looks super fancy, but girls, guys, people, it's not. It's just lots of steps. So, if you don't have a half an hour to waste, you might want to just hop off and come in at the end. But, I'm sucked in. Okay, you go watch your show. I'll just paint without you. With all my other friends. I don't know, painting's therapeutic for me. So a lot of times I sit down. Yeah, you ask me anything. I love questions. I just sit down and paint and watch a show right before I go to bed, and I love it. Yes, ask me about it. The actual palette itself, it's a thin wood. I can turn it a little bit. You can get them for like $7 on Amazon if you don't have a craft store around you. And I polyurethaned mine because I like it to have a little shiny finish because it kind of comes raw. And I like the darker color. Does paint dry on a wood palette and does it wash off? It does dry off. This paint probably won't wash off clean, but that's kind of the look I'm going for. Like, I like when a paint palette gets so chunky that it's almost like a piece of art at the end. So I purposely kind of do it in the rainbow order and kind of just build. And then I'll get a new one. I mean, I don't really do anything with them. I used to hang them up in my art room when I was an art teacher. But you can get the plastic ones so you can wash it when you're done. And then use it forever. But I kind of like that it's on there. If it's thick enough, it'll chip off. And it peels clean because I put that polyurethane base on it. So it's kind of got a shiny finish. But it's not going to wash purposely. Yes, doesn't this look very Bob Ross to me? It does. Oh, I like that. Yeah, it's just more of a, I don't know, a weird thing that I have that I like seeing the paint on it. I don't know. I'm weird. Good question. There are no bad questions here. You can ask whatever you want. And if I don't know, I'll make it up. Well, he's got curlier hair. Like Max has Bob Ross hair, but I do have longer, more luscious hair than him. So my brushes aren't super fancy. I have different, like you can tell, like I haven't even like washed them nicely since my last painting project. I'm very abusive to brushes, so I don't buy really expensive ones. I get them like in a pack of different colors. Bye, Heather. Enjoy your little trip in the mountains. So I have a thick one. I'm going to use a somewhat smaller one, and then you have to have a really fine one to do the last outline. If your black outline gets too thick, it can wreck your entire painting and you will just cry. Which is why in my Bible I used a fine Sharpie because I wanted it to be really little. In real life, he hated his hair and wanted it to go back to natural. Really? Wait, so the curls weren't his natural look? Or just that like puffed out, like afro? He didn't, they probably played that up, I suppose. Oh, you know, somebody said I should watch his documentary. I have heard that before. Okay, I don't know where to put things so you can still see, and I'm going to try not to create too big a shadow. Okay, so the first part of this is color blocking. Oh, I suppose. Oh, it was a perm? Crazy. So it's hard to tell in the example. Let me show a different one. This one has bigger, but behind it is color blocked. And that's something, I've done the sections of colors on there, but I've never done it first. I've always filled it in afterwards, which is kind of painstaking because you have to go in and around. But I was such a color controller, like control freak, surprise, surprise, that, that I just did it that way. But she doesn't do that way. So it's been very good for me to try other people's ways and techniques and learn some new things because, you know, you kind of get stuck in your own artsy rut, and that's not always a good thing. So I'm going to do some color blocking. You can do big sections. The gal whose video I watched, she did like huge sections. You can do little sections. I've done it either way. Both ways I've done it now. And they both seem to give the results you need. It just looks a little bit different. Like I said, I don't like washing my brushes, so I always start with the lightest color and then work my way a little darker. So, but I got something in that brush. So I don't have to clean them very well, so then I just kind of baby wipe in between. So there, you could have little guys, you can have funky lines, you're just building some colored sections. And You can have a little white if you want, but Crystal, you're working? Are you like in your room waiting, or are you in between surgeries? I haven't talked to you forever on here. Wait, what's awesome? I totally missed it. See, this gets in the way. When I actually have to do the work, I miss out on the conversations. Come on, somebody tell me what's awesome. Try not to leave like little white spots. An appendix. Delightful. That person was relieved, I bet. I had mine out a couple years ago. Super painful. Bob Ross teaching painting at the mall. Oh, you got to see him. You're right. That is awesome. His voice is like so soothing. I do have a low kind of man voice, so I could pretend. But I won't do that to you. Okay, so I'm just putting in my colors. I don't always go all the way to the edge. You could. Yes, a happy little tree. Hi, Sharon. I don't know if I saw you sneak on. Are you driving? Are you on your way up here? Okay, so I got a little pink in that blue. Not the end of the world. I'm telling you, this has really been good for my controlling issues. I'm much freer in my paint style now. I know. That's what I said. So soothing. Little green. Oh, you just got home. You're just done? Man, long day. We're actually going out of town tomorrow. We haven't met our new niece, so we're going up for the day to meet her. But maybe Sunday. Oh, you keep freezing? I keep freezing? Okay. So this is why those time-lapse videos are so fun, because you don't have to actually sit and watch the person do it all. Just like speeds ahead. Yeah, it should be fun. I love new babies. Ooh, you stay until Monday. Oh, then I'll definitely see you. Yeah. Okay, so that's not bad. There's a couple white spots in there, but most likely they'll get covered up. So I'm not worried about that. Now it needs to dry. So I'm going to dry it and be obnoxious. I have one of those heat tools. So talk amongst yourself. Oh, I lied. It was unplugged. Yeah, watching paint dry is the worst. It's almost there. These things are amazing. They're so fast. Okay, I got one wet spot there, but I'll just kind of leave that alone for a second. Okay, so now if you just looked at this, you might think this is kind of ugly, but it does get to that floral part, I promise. But everybody can do this, right? Right? Everybody can do that. And that's why, did I tell you, that's why I use a fat brush so it doesn't take as long. And that's why I do the little squares, because that's just the shape of my brush. You could do funky, like organic shapes if you really wanted to. But it doesn't matter. I'm doing this on cardstock. And it's actually just random leftover cardstock. This one was on chipboard, so it's a little bit thicker. I haven't done it on canvas. I'm just using whatever I could grab. So you could actually fold this into your loaded envelope when you're done, if you watched my last one. Okay, so now time for white. So the next step is to sketch as in paint, your flowers in what you want. So on most of these I did like four big flowers or 5 big flowers. You can make them go off the page. I'm going to do whole ones on the page just for your sake. So you can make any style of flower you wanted. This type of painting would work for anything. I just kind of do loose, random, squiggle, square petals. Like my hand just, I don't know, just does it naturally, just does that shape. You could do big round ones like a daisy, whatever you're comfortable with. And the shape kind of changes as you go through. It's just to get your rough shape down. Like this one had 4 petals, this one has 3. You can make one with 5. And then maybe you tuck in a leaf in the corner. So now I got 2. Now maybe I'll do one in the middle, because you don't want them all like right next to each other in a line. And they can tuck behind. Really, the less you think about it, the easier. You just kind of wiggle. Okay, I'll try to describe it better. So you're basically going out and back in. You're just putting a couple wiggles at the top. Does that help? So up, I just kind of wiggle and then back down again. But then maybe some don't wiggle because you don't want them to all look alike. You could do a combination of like the pointed leaves like that, but then make sure these are kind of fun, like when you have a branch that sticks out and the little leaves that stack. They're just like little ovals on the stick coming out. So I've kind of filled up all my space. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see with the white. That one I'm tucking behind that leaf. I'm telling you, it's freeing. This sloppy, wonky new way of painting is like my new favorite thing. It's almost like, don't care about it, just do it. Just do it. If you don't like it, you can cover it up. If I didn't like the shape of one of these, I could do it again. Like, you're not, I don't know, you really can't mess it up. Everybody can do ovals, right? You could just do, I need a piece of paper here. You can do ovally ones. Do your little dots in the middle. And then you go out and do an oval and come back in. This still is going to look awesome if you do these kind of petals. I promise you. Everybody can do that. All I'm doing is going out like I'm going to do that shape, and then I'm just putting a couple humps in it and then coming back in. Just wiggling it around. So it's just like a little looser form of a flower. Okay, so you do what's easy and comfortable for you. Okay, so here I have some basic white shapes. Now another trick to make it look a little neater or different layered is to make it look like your petal kind of flapped over on itself. So again, it's hard to see in white, so I'll show you on here. If this was my thing, I might dip down so it looks like that petal has curved up on itself. So this could be a little darker than what's there. If you already have a wiggle down, all you have to do is draw the back line. So then that one looks like it folded over. Or maybe it folded on the sides a couple times. So I'm just adding. Hey Beth, why don't you hop out and then hop back in again and see if that works. I don't see my thing staggering. So maybe it's just a random connection. Okay, any other questions? Yeah, Periscope doesn't want us to hang out. So I might add a couple of those dips or draw a second petal line, like there's 2 petals in front of another petal. But that's obviously extra frivolous stuff. You don't have to do that. Or if there was room for another leaf, I could add in a leaf over here. So basically the white is just your outline. So you want that to dry. I went kind of thin, so it's not too wet, but bear with me. Okay, so there's your white layer. Now we're gonna color in our petals and our leaves. It still looks cool blurry. Awesome. Okay, so I'm using a medium size brush. It doesn't really matter as long as it's smaller than your section so you can stay in your lines. So the trick to this, to making it look optimally cool, I don't know how to say that, is that you don't want to have your leaf or your petal the same color as the outside spot. So like here, my leaf is yellow on the inside and it's yellow on the outside. So you don't want those 2 colors right next to each other because that doesn't look mixy enough. You know what I'm saying? So if there's yellow here, there shouldn't be yellow touching anywhere around it. If there's blue here, there's no blue petals around it. If there's dark pink here, there needs to be light pink here. You don't want to have 2 colors right next to each other. And you can be kind of random, like here I have a blue leaf, blue petals. They're all different color petals. You could do all light pink petals. I mean, you really can do any variation. I'm just showing you one way that I'm doing. So it's kind of like a paint by numbers, just looking and seeing, okay, well, what color could I do this one? And I didn't use light pink in my background, but I like using it for petals. So you just start painting your petals in. And like I said earlier about the purple, sometimes a color is harder to cover up, so you might have to come back to it and do another coat in a little bit. So I will stick with that light pink and throw it around in a couple different places. And I'm not going to be perfect about this because I know you're watching and you want to see the final product, so I'm going to do it even more sloppy wonky than I probably normally would. So I'm going to give every flower 1 or 2 of these light pink petals. And this is acrylic, so it does cover fairly nice, and if it doesn't cover in 1 or 2, it'll cover in, I don't know what I'm saying. If it doesn't cover in 1, it'll cover in 2 or 3. Okay, if you're watching the replay, I hope you're doing this with me. Is anybody tonight attempting it? Are you just itching to get out your paints? I love pink, so I'm drawn to doing a lot more pink than probably needs to. Excuse me. Okay, and you could rinse your brush out each time. I just wipe it pretty well on a baby wipe. You're coloring? Fun. Now some of my paint. Oh, excuse me. Some of my paint is drying, so I might have to get some new paint. Okay, so sections that have multiple colors in it, like this one right here, you could leave it like that and kind of have that tie-dyed look, or you can just paint it in solid. I prefer the solid color, so I'm going to go with the orange that was primarily already there, and I'm just going to add more. This is kind of like a Sherburne melon color. Yeah, it would actually sit better. It just tends to cover nicer when it's on canvas. So that one already had some of this sherbet, so that's why I picked it for that. So over here I could do either one of these in sherbet because it was already there, but now I'm going to make sure that this one goes a different direction. Over here there's sherbet on the outside, so I don't want to do sherbet on the inside. I apologize, my nose is running now that I was sneezing. Okay, let's do this guy blue. It's so paint by numbers easy. I don't know. I like it. It just makes you think, like, okay, now this one, what color? This one could be blue too, because it doesn't have blue around it on the outside. Now, if you only use like 3 colors or something like that, it's a little bit harder to not have your colors touch the same color. But you could do it. Okay, I think I've done all my... this one could be blue, I guess. I don't want too much blue, so I'm going to paint him off. Let's do yellow. Like, look at that. This yellow is so thin. That's going to take a couple coats. This one shouldn't be yellow, but it is. Okay, I'm going to have to do purple, just 'cause I'm running out of colors. See what I mean? It just doesn't cover nice. Sometimes the craft paints, I should just get out my nice tubed acrylics, but they're so far away. Yeah, it's not my favorite. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so what color could he be? How about dark pink? Someone noted on my other periscopes that my flowers are always boys. I don't know why. I just always say he. It's my chosen pronoun, apparently. Getting some more paint. Where was that one I was gonna do? Oh man, I don't remember. Is it this one? But there's pink there, but I'm gonna turn that green, so I bet I can turn that a different color. This one, yellow on yellow. So in the end, you almost end up painting all of your petals anyhow, over again. But that's okay. Like I said, it was a good... It's good to try new things, so it doesn't bother me that that makes a little bit more work. got the tools, use them. Yeah, it's so freeing. And it's so abstract. Like I don't know, even I tried one that I did like random flowers and it was kind of ugly, and you're kind of ugly up until a certain point, and then all of a sudden it was beautiful. I was like, ooh, this is good. This is good. Anything that can be imperfect and then pull it together in the last step, I'm all about that. And a lot of this is going to get covered anyhow, so it doesn't bother me that it's not perfect. Okay, what color does he need to be? I'm going to do him light pink too, because I have a light pink problem. Yes, you have to try it. I want to see a lot of little stained glass flowers out there. I don't know what else to call it. I just started one with lemons. It's the same type of background, and I just did lemons instead of flowers in the front. Okay, now I'm being nitpicky because I have my centers. Okay, do I have all my flower petals color to color? Do I have any that need adjusting? Okay, I do have to work on that area. Okay, so I'm going to go in and do some leaves. And like I said, your leaves could be funky colors too, or 2 different shades of green. And note that I am not like going right on the white line. Like, you get close to it, but that white line is just a little guide. You can go over it a little bit, you can go behind it. Doesn't have to be perfect. I promise it'll still look okay. Sorry, I'm getting more paint. It's always better not to pour enough paint. Otherwise you end up painting all night long because you're trying to get rid of your extra paint on random bags and papers, and then you end up painting twice as long as you thought you were going to because you just can't throw away that little blob of paint. I wish I'd done another one of those. I like those. Okay, did I get all the leaves? I didn't do too many leaves, did I? That's okay. Okay, so now you're kind of waiting for that stuff to dry. This petal right here, he's got problems. I'm going to use a little white to see if I can neutralize him, and then add the yellow back in. Grandma Diva, sign up, sign up, sign up. Okay, so now we can add some more color in here and add these little dashes, little polka dots. I love polka dots. You could do little straight lines that are dashes. You could do crosses, whatever shape you wanted. The dashes are obviously, like the polka dot ones, are easy because I'm just using the width of my brush. You could get a littler brush and do some small and some big, whatever you want. So pull a color, and then you're just going to put a couple dots on colors that it's not. So anywhere that isn't orange, I can put a couple oranges. Then I can dip into my purple and do a couple purple. So you're breaking up that color with even more color layers now. And it helps you kind of let all your other stuff dry too. More paint. Ooh, that was a big blob. I'm sorry you can't see my palette and this at the same time. I'm gonna add a little white in here. You could add black ones too, but just be careful with black. Black can really make your painting pop, but it can also smother it if you do too much. Okay. Now that my... You've done a lot in 2 minutes. Yeah, it is... It's not that hard. It's just little steps, lots of little steps. So if you watch the video, replay it again, do it with me, you can totally do this. It's quick. Like I was telling you about Megan who does them. I mean, I'm sure hers take hours. I mean, she's drawing little polka dots in on the flowers and like making sure her lines are perfect, and she does different shades within each petal, and her pieces are magnificent. So this is definitely, doesn't look anywhere close to hers, but it's that same kind of process. And I've just made it a wonky, simpler version because that's my life. Like I joked today that my style is quick, get it done before nap time's over, but that really is my style. If I want to have anything done, I got to be able to do it in my 2-hour nap window. So, okay, so I darkened up some of my petals that were a little lacking, and I'm letting it dry. I did some, no, I don't think she does periscopes. Her name's Make Wells. That's her Instagram account, and she's pretty talented. You can use the end of your, oh, I haven't done any light blue. The end of your paintbrush. Do some other shapes. I mean, you could get really creative if you had the time and the detail to do it. I'm just not going to bore you, so I'll just show you a couple little polka dots. Most things you cluster in odd numbers because it looks better. Can you see the little polka dots? Is it too small? So I'm putting that color on colors that it's not, so we're still breaking up the color blocks with other colors. The more color, the better. Okay, somebody's got to be saying, get on with it, woman. Get on with it. To the next stage. Okay, so now that this is kind of dried, now you go back in with your little white brush again. Okay, I am taking too long. My brushes are getting hard. Go in with your white, and you just kind of add some little highlight, like veins, like on your petal. I just try to add a couple around the edge. Don't go crazy. And cover up all your color. It just gives a little highlight for the black that's going to come in and make the killer lines that make it pop. Hi, Lori. Long time no talk. So add some of those little white streaks. I kind of do the outside and kind of curve with the petal. 30. Yeah, us too. But I think we're only supposed to get into the 60s this weekend. It's okay. I'll take it. It's going to melt the snow. Okay. So I added some little white highlights. What else do I want to do? Oh, like the little center things. Now remember, I made a center, but then we painted color kind of up to the center. So if you do some more center dots that overlap your petal color, it makes it look a little more cohesive than just the little ones that were hiding underneath. I'm making those white dots come out. See the difference? Just agree with me. Yeah, it kind of makes it look like the color was already there and underneath, not... Lori, say hi. to Crystal. She said hi to you like 3 times, unless my Periscope is just wigging out. Hey, is that Kayla? Yeah, it does really help. Okay, so I did my polka dots on top. I've done all my white. I've done all my highlighting. I've done all my background polka dots. You could add some other shades. You could add stuff in your petals and your leaves. Like right now I have all my leaves are green. You could add a couple blue ones or a yellow. I know it has been a while. But I'm okay with it. I think I want to fix this part right here. And I'm going to show you the magic. Because it's the black. I tell you, it's all in the black. You turned out, here you go. Funny. Where's that other spot? Okay, here we go. This is the last step. I know, people used to Periscope like every night, like everybody was so into it, and then they kind of disappeared. And I love watching people do stuff and learn stuff, so it really makes me sad that people aren't doing it. Come on, people. Okay, it is very important to get it dry before you do the black because you don't want your colors to smear. The past few times you jumped on, you're talking to yourself. I know, it's hard, but people are busy. I get that. Sometimes, well, once in a while you can go in and see your replays, and I'll have like 500 replays, and I think, okay, so people are eventually watching and learning, so it's not totally for naught. But I would be sitting here painting doing this anyhow, and would just be watching your LP tank. Oh, Sharon, I love that idea. This would be really fun and colorful. We could totally do that, Sharon. I think that's an awesome idea. What was I saying? Yeah, you get the replays, you're just having conversation. I know, it is a lot better to like bounce ideas and have people ask you questions. And yeah, it's a lot nicer if there's actually humans involved. But yeah, like I was saying, I would just be watching some replay of some random show and just sitting here. Or watching other people's Periscopes. I watch a lot of Tanya's Periscopes and replay because I miss her afternoon ones because I have children. Talking way too loud. But yeah, so it's fun. I might as well. Okay, so my very skinny little brush. I told you on my Bible page I used a fine line marker. You could use a thick Sharpie, but you have to know that you probably will wreck your Sharpie if you put it over the acrylic paint. It'll clog up your tip, and sometimes you can like rub it on a piece of paper and get it off, but if you have one that's almost dead, it's a lot easier to control than a paintbrush with black paint. Just make sure you have a really little one, because if you went really fat on here, all you're going to see is black and it's going to cover all your work. So what I'm going to do is I just dip, and then I just carefully drag across the outline of my white. Go fast. Don't worry about messing up. When you try to go right on your white, you're going to see little hesitation marks and you're not going to like it. So just kind of go with it. This is a very loose, freeing type painting anyhow, so don't worry about it. I know I ruined Sharpies too. You could get the paint Sharpies. They last a little bit longer on top of paint, but yeah, I got Sharpies coming out my ear, so I sacrifice a lot. And I don't mind if it's like, see how it's really thin here? Like, I wouldn't take time to go in and make that a nice, dark, solid line. Doesn't have to be. I just quickly go around my shape. And usually you start in the corner and work around. I don't know why I just started right in the middle. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so there's the basic shape there. And now on the inside, you could draw lines. You could draw nothing. You could draw other veins on there. I just have been kind of wiggling some lines kind of up in the middle. Again, I don't think about it. I just kind of do it. Maybe I go around. So here I went around the 3 white highlights. Bam. You could put little black polka dots. You could take time and do little C's to make it look like they're little, I don't know what they're called, nubbins. Little nubbles in there. Yeah, you wiggle it and you jiggle it. I like that, Val. Val, you're funny. I like you. I might have to start messaging you to make sure you can be on all my Periscopes. I like your comments. So you just wiggle around it. Wiggle jiggle in the middle. Doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, just don't do too much. You don't want a black flower. Do a couple dots in there. And it just starts to transform. It just makes you giddy to watch those colors pop. The black just frames it. I like to make up words. I'm working a little small space here, so I'm going to try to move this so you can still see it. And I'm just using the tip. I'm kind of holding it up and using the tip. I'm not trying to drag it or do little painting hashes. I'm just dragging it. Big difference. Oh, stop. You already have flowers coming up? What? Suppose it was warm there for a while, huh? Tricked everybody. And sometimes I'll go back in, like those, remember those spots where we had the flower fold over? I might miss it and not do it. Like maybe there was one there. Just go back and do it. Not the end of the world. See, and mine is extra sloppy because I'm watching your comments and not my painting. Oh, 70s. You can take your socks off. Jealous. And when I did the flowers in my Bible, I kind of did a more wiggly line and then did 2 or 3 layers over each one to kind of give it a unique wiggle. This one I'm just doing 1 because I don't want my black to get too thick. So there's a happy little leaf tucked back there. And maybe I'll give him some veins. And overlapping your flowers instantly makes you look like you're a master drawer. Because it seems like such an advanced concept, but really it's not. You just stopped your line, picked it up, and started it back on again. But it gives the illusion of fanciness. Wiggle, 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 jiggle. I'm going to be saying that forever now. And like I said, you could do polka dots, you could do different kind of veins in there, you could do anything. Be creative. 80 and snowflakes. Funny. I've seen a lot of those mimes that were like, Monday, shorts, Tuesday, parka, Wednesday, sweater, Thursday, scarf. The weather has been so up and down. Okay, you see it coming alive? It's all in the black, right? You thought this looked really sloppy, and somebody was even like, I hope this turns out. I'm sure you meant that in a nice way, but I'm sure you were thinking, what is happening? The illusion of fanciness. You all want the illusion of fanciness, no matter what you're doing. And you're going to try this tomorrow when you get your paint, and then you're going to post a picture and you're going to tag me, and you're going to say, what? I thought you were doing something super hard, but it wasn't. Oh, when you try it. Oh, it will. It will. Beth, I'm just teasing you. happy little line there and a happy little line here. Some polka dots. My last leaf, guys. I do have to go back in. I know I did some more of those little foldovers. Sometimes I do the foldovers in a different color. But apparently I didn't take my own advice. You would buy this on my site? You're sweet. Graylin was so excited that you bought one of her kits. Like, she did the hands on her cheeks like, oh, she did? She bought my kit? What color do you think she wants? And I said, I don't know. I'll have to ask her when she comes up here. She can pick which one she wants. So that was very sweet of you. Thank you. You're so supportive. I think I got all my black spots. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I know. Oh, well, she sold 5 of them, and I think she's got 6 left. She didn't make too many, but it was pretty cute. She got to go out for ice cream with some of her proceeds. I did think about the chipboard I did because I've been making little junk journals, and I thought that would be a cute cover for the junk journals. So that is what I'm thinking. So you might see these pop up in the shop, but yeah, there is the wonky, colorful abstract. Yeah, she loves being on Periscope and camera and talking and like doing this with her hands just like me. And I know she's copying what I do because some of her phrases are exactly what I say. It's super cute. And makes a mama proud that she's all crafty and loves it. So I love it. Bye, Crystal. I hope your night isn't too long. I know you're on call, so it probably is. But yeah, so there it is. That concept, like I said, could be used for any kind of flower or anything on top of anything. It's just a way of layering the color blocking on the back and then layering your color on top of it. So yeah, definitely try it. Now let me show you my palette. I have all this leftover paint because apparently I didn't do anything with blue. And all this white. So now I'm going to have to get out another piece of paper and paint some more because I know that cost maybe 5 cents, but I cannot leave it there. Fancy. It's not an illusion. Oh, it's still a little rough. Do you want me to hold it up close? It's not perfect, but I think that's what makes it so approachable and freeing, that you don't have to be perfect. You didn't have to stay on the lines. You didn't have to color perfectly. It can color out of the lines and just adds character. So please try it. Tag me in a picture if you do, because I would love to see it. I get so inspired by what you guys do, and I love trying new techniques, so you might do a little twist on it that I need to try, so please tag me. And thanks for watching, my faithful little watchers on Friday night. You and Max paint off next week. He's very good at painting. I don't know why he hasn't done a painting Periscope. He painted before I met him. He was doing abstract, like mixed media, layering things, and it was impressive. I was impressed. So we could do that, Val. It might have to be a really wide shot though. So I'll let that dry and I'll hop off and say happy Friday. And if you're watching the replay, I hope it went well for you. So, special requests. We'll see. Okay, Val, I'll have to message you ahead of time to make sure you're there so you can maybe be our online host and tell us what to do. Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for painting with me. Have a good weekend. Bye, everybody. Ooh, I'm trying to X out on my iPad. Not gonna work. Okay, I'm really leaving this time. Bye, everybody.